Hey guys, it's your girl Boonie, and you're listening to episode 154 of the Boonie Breakdown podcast, your source for all things responsible and ratchet. All right, welcome to this week's episode, guys. Happy Monday. You made it another week, all right? This week, the guest is our homie, our friend Shika. We do a good little kiki about all the shit that hits differently now. I make a confession in this episode. Yes, it is my turn to confess. So this is interesting. It leads us down this whole rabbit hole. We kind of circle back to a topic that Brian mentioned in the episode he was on this season about Mount Rushmore. We talk about our own personal Mount Rushmore, and then we go into kind of I don't want to say a deep dive, but we kind of go into Boomerang. Yes, the Eddie Murphy classic Boomerang. You guys know I love Eddie, like he's in my Trinity. And that shit hit different. That shit hit different at the age of 35 watching it. Yes. So that is our conversation in this episode. So stick around for that a little bit later. All right, we're going to hop into pick of the week. Boonie's pick of the week this week. I have not done this in quite some time. This is the first time that I probably did this. Maybe not the first time. I don't know. Let me not say, because I should keep like a spreadsheet of my Boonie pick of the week. Anywho, but my Boonie's pick of the week this week is the iPhone 12 Pro camera. All right. I had an iPhone X. So after 3 long years, I upgraded finally to a new phone. And the camera on that motherfucker, oh my God, let me just say something right now. If you follow me on Instagram, which you guys all should be doing at the Boonie Breakdown, I had no qualms if I just woke up and my glasses, my retainer still in, the scarf on. I post up in the Insta story. But this camera is so clear. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't know. I really, truly don't know if I'm doing that anymore. The camera is just so sharp. It really is. It's hitting, especially for me to upgrade. So far, I'm pleased. I've only had the phone a day. That's all I know that is different at this moment, but it doesn't matter because I'm never leaving Apple. So shout out to the iPhone gang. Housekeeping. This week, the feedback from last week's episode, episode 153, what is financial domination with Mistress Marley. This was some interesting set of feedback. I feel like this was a topic that a lot of people did not know about. A lot of people were not into or deep into BDSM and kinks and financial domination, etc., etc. And so a lot of you were like, wow, this was eye-opening to you, this whole world and how she's monetizing this. And one message I got in particular, I'm pulling it up now so I can read it. Hey, Boonie, this one was eye-opening. I had never heard of financial domination. Just the fact that she just gets people who get off of not controlling their wallet and sending her money. Thank you throughout the week for sharing examples of how she does this in her own life, because I still did not believe that this was possible. I am now following Mistress Marley and possibly considering enrolling in her sex academy to see how I can monetize some things as well. Thank you as always for hipping us to new shit. So you are welcome. I think a lot of you guys kind of are in that same boat where you were like, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm intrigued. I might try. I will say, though, some other feedback from this where a lot of you started confessing things to me, which gave me an idea. So for the second part of housekeeping, I'm going to do an episode before the end of the year where I want you guys, and this can all be anonymous, right? I would like for you guys to send in your confessions. Anything like I'm not Catholic, but you know how you go like priest, Father, I have sinned, blah, 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 blah. We're not talking about sinning, right? But I would love to know some more of your confessions, because some of the things you guys told me that you said you had never told someone, or if you knew me, you were like, don't tell anybody this. I was fascinated. So if like we've done in the past for episodes, if you need me to change your voice, I can change your voice. If you just want to type it and send it in, you can do that as well. So what you can do is you can send it over to the booniebreakdown@gmail.com. All right. You can do that. You can send a voice memo. Just let me know if you need the voice changed, or you can just type it and I can read the confession for you. We can do it that way. You can also just head on over to theboonieBreakdown.com, hit the contact form, send it in there, and that way it can be truly anonymous and I don't even have to see your email address, and you can send it over some words there. Also, if you go to our website, there is a button for you to send a voicemail that way that is truly anonymous. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that you guys can do this. I am looking forward to hearing some of your confessions, and I will remind you again, but we'll do this episode in December. So you got some time to send it and think about it. But I'm really curious now to hear some more things from you guys. All right. Next thing, Would You Rather Wednesday live this Wednesday, October 28th, 2020, over on Instagram at The Boonie Breakdown. We will be doing our infamous Wednesday game show live. Now, here's the twist. If you go live with me, because you know I go live with about 4 to 5 people each time we do this. If you go live with me and you have a Halloween costume on, you will get something from me. You will win a prize from Boonie. You guys know I love giving away things. So if you feel spicy, you want to have some fun and go live and have a costume, you can do that. If not, you just want to participate in the comments, you can do that too. We always have a good time. So again, Wednesday, October 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So go ahead and put those in your calendars. Set those alarms now, because I don't want to hear it every time like clockwork. I get people like, oh shit, I missed it. So go ahead, put it in your calendar right now. Also, you guys know that I love when you give lovely 5-star reviews. So you guys know I always ask for 5-star reviews on the Apple Podcast app. If you listen on any Apple device, iPhone, iPad, iPod, MacBook, whatever it is that you listen to, you can go leave 5-star reviews there. You can also leave a 5-star review over on our Facebook page at The Boonie Breakdown. And I got a lovely one from Miss Kimberly. I'm not going to say her last name, but it says, Boonie, just know that I'm a new pandemic listener of the podcast and I am obsessed. I have been binge listening. I already loved you in real life, but you on the podcast, laughing emoji. I love it. I've already given you 5 stars on iTunes. So listen, that person left me a double 5-star review. Like, that is just going above and beyond. So Kimberly, thank you for both of your 5-star reviews. And if you want to join Kimberly, head on over to Facebook or Apple Podcast app. You can leave those reviews. I love reading them, and you can hear your review on a future episode. All right. And again, because we've plugged it already so many times in this episode, if you are not following us on social media, you can do so. We're on Pinterest even. You can follow us Pinterest at The Boonie Breakdown, Instagram and Facebook at The Boonie Breakdown, and over on Twitter just at Boonie Breakdown. That is where we are. We are most active on Instagram, but we welcome you to follow us across any platform that you choose to do so. And when you share the episode, you can drop a link. You can put it on your Facebook page. You can put a tweet out there. You can do a screenshot in your Insta story, but be sure to tag us at The Boonie Breakdown and use the hashtag PODIN, PODIN, and the hashtag The Boonie Breakdown. You see consistency here. Just The Boonie Breakdown, The Boonie Breakdown. And the more that you share it and use your voice to help us grow, we love it. That's how we grow faster, by you helping us and letting all your lovely friends know about something that you enjoy, and hopefully they listen to. So that is it for me, guys. So let's get ready to break it down. All right, guys, it is your girl Boonie, and we're here with the homie Shika. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Look, we're recording on this here Friday night. We were just talking about mouths. Yes, mouths.
Right. Yeah.
And I was saying, like, I get so many compliments on my teeth. Thank you, because I spent a lot of fucking money on my mouth. So every single compliment you guys send me does not go unwarranted.
Yeah.
It makes me feel happy that the money was well spent. Okay.
Right.
But I am going to share on Instagram this week. I'm going to say it now so I actually do it. But I'm going to share the side by side of my teeth. Now, it's not the official orthodontist picture, even though that one is wild. But I really want to show, because I found a video, because Snapchat was the reason I finally got down. And I'm like, I think before Snapchat, I don't recall ever recording myself all the time to talk into the screen.
Oh, got you.
And so watching it over and over again, like, fuck, what's happening there, sis? We gotta get this together.
Yeah.
So I went to the orthodontist. It was literally because of Snapchat. And so I found an old Snapchat video, came up in the new update or iOS. It does those photo memories if you use the widget. Yes. And so one of them was this old video, and I was like, oh shit, look at my teeth. And so I did a screen grab and I compared it to my present day teeth. And it was worth every single penny I spent. So
because you saw me wince as I took my Invisalign out.
I remember those days.
Yeah,
and I remember
that
pain.
Hurts.
I remember that pain. So
yeah, and I was telling you that I only had an open bite, and my dentist convinced me to do it. It wasn't necessary. My teeth weren't straight. It's just I thrust my tongue in my sleep, basically. So
and the thing
was a training thing for me.
The thing was, I was not interested in it. I went to a teeth cleaning after I had gotten my wisdom teeth out. I had already had like a little issue with 2 teeth, but my dentist, the hygienist, noticed. She was like, "Is that you have a gap now?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got a little bigger." And she's like, "You just got your wisdom teeth out. Like your teeth spread. Like you should monitor it."
That's
and
how they got me.
Yeah, I was like, they spread like that? She's like, I'm going to measure this gap. And when you come back in 6 months for the cleaning, we can measure it again. And if it's bigger, then your teeth are just going to keep spreading. So I'm like, oh, shit. So when we came back in 6 months for the cleaning, it had indeed spread. And then Snapchat. And I was like, all right, well, let's go ahead and do this thing because it's going to keep, I'm going to have to put a sign up like next tooth a mile or some shit. I don't know. So
please. Yeah, my dentist got me after my wisdom teeth too, because they had to do the x-ray of your mouth, and I basically had like a lisp because of the open bite. So it was visible. The space between my top row and bottom row was like literally the width of my tongue. And so and men seem to think that's sexy. I need to understand what is it the correlation between a lisp and a heavy tongue that you men feel like?
Ask Brian. I'm sure he'll tell you.
Right. I'm sure he will. No, because you'll notice because people will look at your mouth while you're talking. And I would notice that. So yeah, that's the only reason why I did it. And now I don't have a lisp anymore. So maybe that'll stop. I don't know. It's very weird. It's just
crazy now, like little things I noticed because it changes the whole shape of your mouth and your jaw when you go through the whole orthodontia thing, which is why they tell you should go to an orthodontist and not use Smile Club Direct. It's because you're not being monitored. And so even though my teeth were shifting and closing very quickly, my orthodontist had to do a few things to correct my bite wasn't closing as fast as my spacing in my teeth were.
Got you.
So my bite was all fucked up for like a couple.
Oh yeah.
So even though I had Invisalign, I had to do
same.
I had to do rubber bands, which are
right.
That's some fuck shit. So yeah, this portion of the podcast is not sponsored by Invisalign, but if anybody has an Invisalign contact, yes, sis. Boonie will be a spokesperson.
Right. I paid mine off already, but yes, every 2 weeks. Listen, it was
I'll save it because I know somebody else who had Invisalign had to get it again because their teeth started moving.
Yeah.
So yeah. Go ahead. We'll endorse y'all again. Give us a sponsorship.
Right.
So guess what?
What?
I have a confession to make.
Oh,
I have been saving it until you came on the pod. And this is a big time confession. Like,
okay, let me light my J and prepare.
Go ahead and spark up, sis.
Okay, we're ready.
If you recall, I have proudly proclaimed on this here broadcast known as the Boonie Breakdown that I had given up men with locks. I had a good long streak. But I must confess that my streak of no longer fucking men with locks has come to an end.
Fuck you, me. I said, is it Is it right? Yeah.
Is who you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
um
so funny. You can hold water. That's really good because we've spoken.
Listen, that's wonderful to know.
Hey,
Uh
friend.
I will say this: I had some bomb ass skinny dude dick that were attached to a man with locks. It was so traumatizing to your girl that at the end of 2014,
Ooh, what year was that?
I
Ugh.
think it was 2014 or maybe
Mm-hmm.
somewhere mid 2015, I had proudly proclaimed I was giving up these fuck niggas with locks. Okay. Men with locks were my
Mm-hmm.
kryptonite. I had to walk away and I did it cold turkey. And then I did a year. You know, the dick was so good and had fucked me up so bad. I did a year of no fucks. 2016, I fucked
Oh, I
nothing
remember you did that
but myself.
intentionally. Yeah, you did that intentionally. I gotta.
Intentionally.
What was his sign? I can't
I'll
remember.
never do it again. It was an Aquarius.
Oh, I knew it. I
Yeah.
felt that. I felt that in my spirit because I have been there with an Aquarius
Yes.
nigga
I
several
wholeheartedly
times.
recommend the meet of an Aquarius man.
Yes, do not get attached, friends. Though you can fuck
Yeah. I
them,
mean,
do
I
not
went down
love
that
them.
road and I literally did the year 2016 was no fucking. And so
Mm.
when 2017 rolled around, I was back on the saddle and was like, fuck these niggas with locks. And literally 2 weekends ago, Columbus Day weekend, it did not hit me as I was doing it. But a little later, I was telling someone, I was like, guess what? It had been so long since I had, and this is a revisit. It's not a new nigga with locks. It's a
Right.
revisit, not the skinny dude. But I was just like, oh my God, it had been about 8 years with this person in particular.
Right.
And I was like telling them, and I was
Wow.
like, oh, and they were like, what? I was like, oh my God, my streak is over. It's over. So 5.5-ish, 6 years, no men with locks.
Wait, y'all haven't been in that long? That's so interesting.
Yeah, it was 8 years.
Jesus.
It was 8 years. And it was so crazy because when he got here, I felt like it's so funny. I wonder if he's gonna listen to this one.
Me too.
Because I
No
didn't even tell
judgment
him
here,
this.
though.
But
Right.
I was like legit like on some nervous shit because I was well in my 20s when the last time we hooked up. So I felt
Right.
like I was still a baby and I thought so highly of him sexually. I thought he was on my Rushmore. As Brian calls it, I totally have adopted the
I
Rushmore
like the
because
Rushmore
Rushmore fits.
idea.
I have
Yeah.
4 that I have on my Rushmore. He was always one of them on my Rushmore.
Yeah.
And so I was just nervous, like, oh my God, what if 8 years later it sucks? We don't have chemistry. So when he's here and he's like laying in my bed, I, your girl had butterflies. I cannot
Oh,
tell you the last time I've had like legit nervousness butterflies before fucking. It has been quite some time.
that's
And
dope.
yeah, I was like, oh my God, are we really going to do it? We're not going to do it. Because we hadn't done
Yeah.
it in so long. I was like, we're not going to do it. And then we did
Right.
it. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we did it again. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah. Because
right.
that's the thing. Like, I mean, I used to recycle probably throughout my 20s. I think it was somebody, again, one of those moments when you're just like, you know what, fuck these, like, fuck niggas, period.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, I think it was around 30. I like bought a house the next year. I literally just canceled men and focused on me. But after him, I stopped revisiting. So I would be, I mean, I'm not putting this out here for that, but I would be interested to see how that went. Because remember, I sent you that screenshot after somebody to the
Mm-hmm.
post about somebody fucking stealing my profile picture on Instagram and making fake page. I was like, what the fuck is going
You had
on?
a
Is it
stalker.
retrograde? And
Yo,
you know that
retrograde
nigga
been showing his
that
ass
nigga
too.
stole from me. The last nigga stole from me. So it's like, I was on high alert. But anywho, somebody had looked at the my story saying that wasn't me who's in my Rushmore, and it has been a long, like, bitch, I was doing some
Yeah.
questionable things, like
Yeah.
going to a studio in DC and Yeah, and what were you doing,
Yo,
Shika?
your 20s. Listen.
Listen.
If you're listening to this right now and you are still in your
Yes.
20s, if you're still
Live that
between the
shit up.
ages of 20 and 28, 29, you got to start preparing for your 30s. But if you're between 20 and 28,
Do what the
live
fuck you
that
want to
shit
do.
up. Hop on every dick safely that you can.
Absolutely. Have
Do it
fun.
all.
Don't do a relationship. Now, this might sound strange to you, and y'all who have a dry sense of humor would get it. Like, yes, we are both two single bitches, mid to late 30s. Yes, but I will
Oh,
say, right? It sounds traumatic. It's not that bad, but I will say I do not regret, especially my sexual exploration in my 20s. I feel like I did my 20s the way I should have. I don't feel like because I was not pressed for a relationship, that's why I don't have one now.
yeah.
I just felt like I avoided a lot of heartache and fucking pain and maybe possibly pregnancies and things of that such in
I
my 20s.
I definitely feel like if I had gotten married in my 20s, I'd have been divorced already.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Do not
and
get married before 30. You don't even know who the fuck you are. It's science. Your frontal cortex doesn't even kick in completely till you're 25. Like, you're
yeah.
going to be different. I remember it was almost like overnight is dramatic, but I can be dramatic. But it was almost that 29 to 30. Like, I stopped giving a fuck about so much shit at 30. And I was very shocked because people talk about it, but you don't expect it. But I kind of just woke up one day like, I don't give a fuck about this, that, and that. And
Yeah.
I
I
decided to be true to me.
I told my little sister once, this is when I was still in my 20s and she's in her 20s still. And I was just like, shit, I remember when I turned 24 and I looked back at 21, like, fuck. And I remember when I turned 27, I looked back at 24, like, whoa, like the growth of yourself as a person in your 20s is
Yes.
fucking amazing. I want to circle back on one thing before we move on.
Okay.
I'm going to do this and then I want you to do it. I'm going to describe, because I feel like when I was looking over my Rushmore, I feel like each person on my Rushmore has very different style and aesthetics in terms
Sexually.
of why they're on.
Shit, even physically for me, but okay.
Yeah, I was like, why they're on my Rushmore. So I have one, right? Because I was just thinking about it, like, it's not like they were all the same style of lover, type of lover. They all had the same physique. Like, they really are just very different types of men. And so I was kind of laughing at someone because when Brian said it, I remember Googling Rushmore because I was like,
right.
What the fuck that shit look like again?
And who's on there?
So what is it? It's Washington, Lincoln,
because somebody on there who isn't a president,
Roosevelt,
correct?
and Jefferson. Ain't it? Ain't that who's on there?
I guess. Is it somebody on there who wasn't a president or no?
No, I think they all presidents, right?
Maybe that was from like a joke from like The Office or some shit. I'm remembering that.
Okay, so it's George Washington. Okay, I was close. Oh, I had them. I was right.
Okay.
George Washington, then it's Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
It is from The Office because Michael, when Ben Franklin came in, was like,
yeah.
That's what I got to remember. I was like, he wasn't a president. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So they all, like, Washington and Lincoln are looking one way and Jefferson and Roosevelt are looking another way. So
right.
My Lincoln, I just pulled it up. So my Lincoln, because Lincoln is off to the side by himself. He's not connected to the other three. Lincoln is who I would give the person, my skinny dude, big ass, heavy ass dick. Really,
I can see that being your Lincoln.
Yeah, really had good stroke game. That's my Lincoln.
Yes.
My Roosevelt, beautiful penis. One of my favorite penises I've ever had. Like, the penis itself is just really a work of art. Nice thick vein, nice thick girthy, chocolatey dick. Very good. That's my Roosevelt, just because it was a distinguished, and it was also attached to an older man who was significantly older than me. So that is my distinguished penis.
Right. Okay.
Now we get to the Washington and Jefferson. I'm going to give Jefferson to the 8-year rekindle.
Okay.
Very enthusiastic, lots of stamina.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go for the gusto.
Right.
And then my Washington, the general, the leader.
Okay.
I'm giving that to Hotep.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Giving it to Hotep. Because George Washington was tall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give that to that's the general. It's like that nigga can say anything. I'm like fucking putty. What you want me to do?
Right.
What you want me to
Right.
do? Oh, well, okay, I'm gonna do it. All right. That is my
Huh.
Rushmore. All very different. All very different.
Yeah. I have to remember it's been some time since I've thought about my Rushmore actually. So the one who I would say, let me recall, let me think.
Gotta think on him.
Yeah, I gotta think on it. I mean, cause I ain't gonna hold you. word to somebody. There's been some niggas. I gotta think.
No, because it's funny. I don't keep track of the
I think I
quantity.
think of like two or three people that I'd be like.
Yeah, I always kept a top 3. And then recently someone came in and I was like, fuck. So
Right,
when
because
Brian introduced the Rushmore, I was like, oh, these 4 niggas, that works.
Right. Who was off to the side by themselves? Lincoln?
That's Lincoln. Yeah.
My Lincoln would probably, it would be, and it's funny because sometimes we haven't spoke, he had resurfaced a couple of years ago and I was just like, we can't do this. Because it doesn't make sense. But he was an Aquarius and he would probably be the Lincoln, like, because looking at him, I don't think anybody would like expect that. Like, he's just a nasty nigga. Like, it is just
nasty niggas. Yeah,
he's
that
the
was
nigga who the first nigga I tried anal with. Oh, actually, the only nigga I've done anal with, and it got to the point where it was like Liddy. I was like,
oh look, we have okay. There's a similarity. Yeah. I didn't even mention that. Like, he's not the only person, but he's the only person who it was like a requirement. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, he asked me a lot, and like I recall doing it more than 3 times. So yeah, and only person not only person, but he introduced me to like sex on my period. I would not do it because I just thought it was going to be like, nigga gave me head and everything. He's nasty.
You got head on your period?
Yeah, I had a tampon in though. It's fine. Tampon in, put a towel down, and then you take the tampon out when you're ready to have intercourse. That's how you do it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I tried a lot. It was explorative with him. Now the one who I showed you the screenshot of recently, he's like stupid, tall, slim, heavy dick type. But like everything was fire, like all of it, and it's just something. So I would give him. Like I would give him Washington because he was always consistent. Okay. We never, like, I can't remember one time that it was like trash.
Yeah.
And he was somebody that, ashamed, again, in my 20s, I was not as liberated probably as I am now, but like never gave me head until like the last time we had sex. And I was like, I am so glad you never did that before because it was that fire. That I might have been
not that fire.
Dumb. I might have been even more dumb. Right? If that was a part of the package.
That'd be happening too.
Yeah, so that would be Washington. Who else? Who am I missing?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore Roosevelt. I'm just giving them their signs because I don't really have any other things that I need to describe these niggas for. Theodore, I would give that to the Aries. That was the one in my 30s that I was just like, all right, cool. But like we would like it was consistent, but it was weird because like I felt like he always felt like he could do better, and I was just like, I mean, So it was like he was always trying to top himself. So it very much, that was fun for me because I was just like, I mean, I'd be good, but like if you want to
You
go
want to keep
higher,
going?
yeah, like do your thing.
Be my guest. Be my
Yeah.
guest.
Yes. Come on, Beauty and the Beast. And the last one, do I have a fourth?
Or you can leave it open.
I
A
might leave
fourth
it
could be
open.
coming.
Yeah, look, a fourth might be coming because
Look, I hope
it's
shit.
different.
I need
It's
Rushmore
30.
quality dick
Oh no, that's why I
from
don't be
here on
fucking.
out.
This is
I
exactly why I don't
can't
be having sex.
I can't be wasting my time with this lacklusterness, especially if I'm going to be as a single woman. I don't have time to be
Yeah.
wasting, especially in the age of the Rona.
Right. And even like I think back to my 20s, like I had some trash sex experience, but not as much as I feel like I hear a lot of people talk about because even in that instance, in that age, it was like, okay, if things aren't quite going the way I want to, like I'll like try to take charge as best I could to make my experience
Yeah.
great. So like now at this age, that's why I be telling you, I'm like, girl, I be looking up at the months just be going past because I can not have my emotions tied to sex, but there's something extra about like in actually enjoying somebody
With the,
and
yeah.
that you're gonna have sex with, and it's just like I could just fuck off, sure, but word to just Scott. Why do you feel so empty? Because it gets tiring. It expires at some point. So
Yeah, I had to get to the point where I had to accept that, yeah, I don't feel like every sexual encounter is an emotional encounter,
no,
but I also know I have a limit. That
me
even
too.
eventually, if we just continue to fuck without any type
Yeah.
of conversation of what this is, what it's going to be, what it's not going to be,
Mhm.
especially if what it's not going to be, then I definitely have a limit on how many times I can do that. So because
Right, because
other,
it gets boring to me.
yeah, and I feel like other to me too, it's like I'll just start creating shit to make it more than what it is sometimes. Like no, this
Oh,
is
see, and
just
I'll just I can be cold, and I'm sensitive, so it's like I'll just. Oh my God, I'm sorry. There's an ice cream truck that goes by in my neighborhood 365 days a year, and I don't even
that's
know
so funny.
if
I
they
was like,
sell
bitch, it's
drugs.
October. Why is the ice cream truck?
If they don't, if they be out in the winter, is this time all the time? I really think maybe they sell drugs on there. I don't know. One day I'm gonna go. I've been here 5 years, and I swear to God, every day.
He hasn't missed a day.
But
He might be.
yeah, listen, but I shut down where it's that I'm not as warm to niggas that I'm just having sex with. And they don't receive that well. So yeah, it just gets to a point, and then if I feel like, okay, I can do a little bit here and there, and then they want to draw up, I'm just
But
like, you know what, like, listen
and
guys, we can just have the sex and have fun. It's okay.
and I was just like even thinking about this whole thing of like what is relationships? What can people do for you? And then I know
Mhm.
like today, like Sweetie said the comments that went viral, like, sis, if he not buying you a Birkin or he ain't paying your bills, then leave him alone. And of course, Black Twitter went into an uproar.
How old is
And
she though?
And so that was my thing because I was really thinking about it. I've never in my life, and maybe I'm a fool, maybe I should be doing more, but I have a problem asking people I love for money.
I assume.
So I'm not just gonna be asking a nigga I'm fucking or somebody I'm dating. Like, now if somebody gives me a gift and it's a nice gift, that's different. But these requirements that you gotta trick off on me and take care of me financially, I definitely don't have those requirements per se.
Me neither, but it's also because I've been taking care of myself for a very long time, so it's hard to ask for it. But I would like to know that if I needed it, a nigga wouldn't hit me with the nah. You know what I
That yeah, that's
mean?
kind of where I am. Like, and that was my first thought. I'm like, one, she just turned like 25, right? So she's young.
Right. But also
Two,
I feel like that's their like generation. That's what they're on. Like that's
and
their
that
vibe.
two, and then three, it's like, okay, her nigga can buy her a Birkin because he has money, right?
Can afford that.
So somebody on Twitter made a good comment like, whatever your Birkin is, sis, if that's what you want, right? So for me,
Right.
my Birkin might be a student loan payment or give me some money for some furniture or some shit. But again,
Right.
it wouldn't ever be me asking because
Right.
Yeah, it would just be you were like, oh babe, I heard you talk about this.
Yeah.
Surprise.
And you know, I'm secretly waiting for that nigga because I know me. I'm not going to ask because nine times out of ten I'll be all right. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I feel secure in my situation and stuff like that. So an offer would be nice, but also, you know, I struggle with the idea of like being able to speak up and say, yeah, I'm gonna need something because, and it only gets weird because these days men that I come across, like date apps and stuff like that, they struggle with like a date. I told you about the
Can we
last
start
nigga.
there?
I told you about the Sagittarius that I had to let go because he had mounted my
Now
TV
you
and took fucking screws in front of my face and then had a problem when I was like, why you ain't asked? Like, I was
listen.
just like, sir, you really feel like I'm being extra by saying if you grab anything in my fucking house, ask me? My mama don't do that, my nigga. Like, are you dumb?
Look, you know the theme on the Boonie Breakdown Instagram this week has
Fuck
been stay
them.
away
You
from
know, I ain't really
Sagittarius.
fuck with it. I never
Eh.
really until about a year or two ago. But yeah, it's a little bit. They play mind games and they try to mind fuck you. I'm too swift for it. Also, I'm a Sagittarius mom, even though you know Sagittarius women are different from the men. But like,
Big time.
I'm hip to they shit, so it was just very strange watching it in real time. The guy that I had like actually like we was just like fuck buddies for a little bit, and I was just like, yo, do you think I'm dumb? Like, please stop. Like, I had to bring it to his attention and be like, listen, I don't understand why you're saying things that aren't true to me as if I want to hear that, but like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I will always warn women. You know, I've always been on the Gemini men crusade kick.
Yeah.
Just stay far away. And I've now added the Sagittarius men to this list as well. Please just stay away or guard your loins, guard your heart, whatever the fuck you gotta do. But yeah. So in theme with this conversation,
Yes.
I felt like I have been doing a lot of binging of 90s shit recently. And I was watching the other night, Boomerang was on. And I just feel like
Favorite.
some of these movies hit so fucking different now in terms
As an adult.
especially as an adult. And then some of the ones like I've watched Boomerang tons of times, dozens of times in my 20s.
Me
But I
too.
feel like it's something when you feel like you're their age or older than them. And it's like, fuck,
Mhm.
this shit is still like, I will be 36. Why is this still the case?
Yeah, because that is so funny because in the middle of me watching it, because I think I watched it like Sunday or something. And one, I was glad that I still enjoyed it because some
Mm-hmm.
things you rewatch and you're like, ugh.
No,
But it was still
Boomerang has
enjoyable. It's still really
really,
good. It aged well.
it stood the test of time. Like it really
Yeah.
has aged really well.
But one of my first thoughts, I was like, are they in like their mid 30s? I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is.
So when it hits, and I was just like, so two things. I do feel like Boomerang has aged well. It stood the test of time. And I will say it's probably one of the greatest Black movies of all time. I'll be bold enough to say that. You guys know, if you don't know, you're new here. I fucking love Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And this is one of those rare occasions where Eddie Murphy was fine.
You know, I was looking at it and I was like, I see why, like, really a thought cross, like, flew through my brain. I was like, I see why bitches is fucking Eddie. I get it. I
Yeah.
see it.
Like the
I
shit
got it.
was he was kind of fine then. And he's at the height, making money, and the nigga's funny. So you
Funny
already get points
when
because you can make somebody laugh. But then he kind
you
of
can laugh.
yeah, he elevated there. I had to look up because when you also look back, I don't think I ever appreciated the cast of Boomerang. So you had Eddie. Okay, so you had Hallie. You had
Yes.
Eddie. You had David Allen Greer. You had Martin Lawrence. You had Chris Rock. You had Tisha Campbell, John
Yes.
Witherspoon, right?
Yes.
You had Myra. I don't know her
Yeah,
real
I
name, but
forget
that's
Myra's
Myra.
name for Myra. Even Grace Jones,
Grace
like,
Jones,
yeah.
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha
Okay,
Kitt,
so
yes.
I was looking at this, and two things I took away from it was just a lot of things I took away watching it as a like. I think this is my first time
Yeah.
watching it as a 30-something-year-old Black woman.
Me
The
too.
biggest thing I liked, and I remember watching this as a young child, but my mom would always be like, turn around or cover your eyes and cover your ears on certain parts. So I knew parts, but I didn't know what the context was because I was like, what the fuck are they? I don't know why they're laughing, but okay.
Right.
So I remember the first time I watched it, like, ha ha ha, I get it now. But I appreciated two things about having Grace Jones and Eartha Kitt. One, it was that Grace Jones was fly as fuck. Now, I don't think so. She might have been in her 40s in that movie because she's like in her 70s now.
Right.
And then you had Eartha Kitt, who was probably in her 70s. And I liked that they showed older women who were still sexual. And people found attractive. And especially Lady Eloise, because I was like, both of those roles I thought were very sex positive. And in the sense that you always hear about women sleeping their way to the top. Marcus fucked Lady Eloise for a promotion.
Right.
And they joked at it a few times in the movie.
Yeah.
But I was like...
It was interesting because it was funny how they never...
confirmed or denied.
Right. I was going to say it was very funny they never showed it, but the fact that like her whole butler was snickering every time. So like, nigga, you finna get fucked tonight. Like, I already know how this one go. Eat your lamb and have a good time because she finna fuck you. Yes. And I like that. And it also was funny because, you know, he denied it because of his...
because like, I didn't fuck that old lady, right?
Yeah, so like, well, you probably let Lady Eloise sit on your face. Like,
yeah, like I just thought that whole little, it was such a small part of the movie, but it was threaded through several times. Like Robin Givens joked him about
everybody knew.
Yeah, like everyone's like, oh, did you fuck her?
Yeah, because she probably told. And then the funniest thing was him realizing when Robin Givens, when they meet, she's kind of like, oh yeah, she's a
figurehead. Like she doesn't even
she's not even in her right mind, sir. Like you didn't pick up on that.
Like she just put your ass out.
Right. She used you, sir.
Like what is that? And I just love Eartha Kitt. It's her whole like that purr. I wish I could do that. Like, I don't have any panties on.
Yeah, she's so funny. And that little outfit she had on, I was like, she better thrust her little pelvis in his face.
With her little Playboy 1950s corset on.
I was just like, look at her. She's so tiny.
Yeah, and I just like, I loved those two characters.
Me too.
Then I thought another character that hit different for me was Tisha Campbell's character.
Yo, she was...
So I always thought she was funny, right? It was funny, like, girlfriend. And then when I thought about her role more significantly, like, shit, Marcus dogged the fuck out of her, right? Like, they had something.
Imagine you gotta live next to a nigga that dogged you out, though, for real. Like, on some real shit.
And watch him bring home all these women.
I might act like that too. You don't know though. I'm thinking about the last person I was dating seriously. If that mofo lived next door to me, I would make his life a living hell for sure. For my enjoyment. It's just, and it's funny because yes, younger, I was like, she's funny, but she's mad annoying. But like, why is she acting like that? She's bitter, and I was just like, oh, but I understand being that annoyed.
Bitch. Yeah,
like, get it. Fuck you.
I get it.
Right.
So I looked at her character completely different.
Yeah.
I looked at, so first of all, I did not know, and I found this out a couple years ago. And it was in an interview with John Witherspoon, R.I.P. The whole you got to coordinate scene
with the improv.
Was improv.
Right.
You didn't like him and Martin improv the whole fucking thing.
That was so good.
And they said that they filmed that scene, the Thanksgiving scene, like over 2 days or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was saying like, I think it was David Allen Greer came up with the idea that the parents should go fuck in the bathroom. And that wasn't written in the script either. Like that whole scene was improvised. And so Eddie was saying like they went home and over the weekend they thought about it, and him and the director got back on set on Monday and was like ran to each other like, we gotta add that in there. Like,
Yeah.
so I just thought one of the most memorable and best scenes of the entire movie was completely improv and not in the script.
Yes. That, and I will say the parents having sex in the bathroom probably made it less traumatic for me in high school when I went to use the bathroom in the morning. My parents were in the shower together. Like, and it's funny because I was asking questions like, "Hey, mom, like, where that at? He left for work already?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Oh, he downstairs?" "No." And I'm just like, "What?" He's like, "I'm right here." And I was like, "Whoa." Hey, I'm going to flush the toilet, wash my hands, and leave. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I interrupted. Whatever y'all doing,
That is hilarious.
whatever that means,
Yeah,
So
that is hilarious.
it was, about like that moment. I remember I was like, "That's so weird." But the coordinate, because it's just like, first of all, the outfit, the fact that your lining and your shirt is just, it felt so natural that you would feel like they had to write that in. Because, like, why wouldn't you play?
Why wouldn't you do that?
Like, because
Yeah.
why the fuck you got that on?
They said that whole scene was totally improv. Like, once they decided to go that direction and they added in that sex scene, they just let those comedic geniuses, David Alan Grier, Martin, John Witherspoon, and Eddie did it.
And we forgot Layla Rashawn.
So Layla Rashawn was bad as fuck back in the day. Okay, her white in the exhale, boomerang body, bad as fuck.
Which was so strange that they attacked her. However, was that a year ago? I don't know how long.
It probably was 2 weeks ago. Who knows?
Probably
they did attack her because that was when he was cheating with Nicole Murphy.
Yeah, right. Whatever that thing was, that was terrible.
But yeah, she's like lupus or something. Though. Yeah, she's still pretty, but she just picked up some pounds.
Such a cute face, yeah.
Yeah, but she was bad back then. Like, goddamn, bitch.
Oh my god.
So
how weird that Eddie had that checklist of shit that like he acted like her toes was falling off. Like maybe
she had leprosy. So
maybe she missed a pedicure appointment.
So literally, I feel like, okay, now we're at the crust of the shit. Eddie, Jacqueline, Angela. We can even throw in Layla Rashawn's character, right?
Yeah.
So Eddie, I feel like as we're single women, Eddie was Marcus was the quintessential I'm good on nigga paper. Like, I'm good on paper nigga, right?
Perfect on paper.
I've encountered quite a few of these men where it's like, I have the good job, I'm attractive, I'm single, I have no children, I make good money, I have my own place, just these very basic requirements. Let's just put that there because
the bar's on the ground.
Yeah, functioning adults have these things. And like I'm looking, all of these women that he dealt with had these same things, right? Jacqueline was his fucking boss, so I'm sure she made more money than him, but he still was like, I'm the fucking man, I am the shit.
He had to find a way.
I think that was the first trigger in watching it. Like,
he had to find something wrong because what he was seeking for, and that's once you deal, and that's men and women, once you're in the dating life or whatever for enough time, you realize, and in life in general, that perfection is never fucking achieved.
Never. Because I'm like, when you look at it,
you want to achieve it.
Layla Rashawn's character was, in my opinion, better than Robin Givens, but
she was better, but he had that complex of wanting what he couldn't have. Yeah. She was too easy, but it's like essentially he wanted Robin Givens to act more like Layla Rashawn's character, even though it was just a fling, but he wanted her to be softer. He had an idea of what his perfect woman was like, and it was like, oh, she bad, da-da-da-da, okay, she's not making it easy, fine, I'll chase. And then it was like, she didn't react, which I'm gonna tell you something about, because she also, I feel like, had some of the cool girl complex, but it's something that triggers men when women don't react, I feel like, in a quote unquote clingy way post sex. It does something to the ego.
She fucked his ass all up because he wasn't.
Yeah, because he didn't like it. And
Like,
experienced
I'm giving
that.
you a dose of your own fucking medicine, right?
Right.
So,
But
because
not even on purpose. It's who she
she
was at
was.
the
And the
time.
crazy thing was, like, when the roles reversed, right? Because Chris Rock's sole character was to boast, his sole role was to boost Marcus's ego. Like, you the big
Right,
man,
like
right? And so then when it switched, he's like, man, you walk around here looking like pathetic.
right.
And then she's gathered around with all the girls talking
Girls
shit about him.
giggling and everybody giggling like, hey Marcus, so sweet. Can we talk about how movies in the 90s love to have a motherfucking funny ass mailroom man? And when I got my good old government job, I was like, I'll never run into no mail people. Like, who is the mailroom? Like, where is
It
it?
always, because even in Strictly Business, Tommy Davidson
Is
was the male.
another good one. Yes. And I love Strictly Business. And
I
he
love,
was almost saving a goddamn everybody.
yeah, I love Strictly Business.
Oh my God. Oh,
But I just laugh because you're right. In all those movies, it was an office mail person. Like, was y'all getting that much mail at work? Shit.
Oh, you know what's funny? There is this, it was this Asian guy in my old building who was super old and nice. I saw him with the mail car. Okay, so I did experience a mailman. He wasn't like funny and black and fine or nothing, but yes, I did. That's hilarious.
It is funny. And then the person who triggered me the absolute most, Angela Halle Berry.
I was going to ask, how do you feel? Because now looking back,
triggered.
I was there because here's the thing. And also it was interesting because I just feel like, I don't know if that was the last time, but like Halle Berry was very black in that movie. Like it was very, like, you know what I mean? And so like her trajectory of her like acting career, I just didn't see that.
No one did
that way. Right. But first of all, it was I just got why you said triggering, because now it's curling over.
Her character triggered the fuck out of me.
What a bitch. And I'm just going to say it because, one, she did that whole thing where she like, I don't think she had the balls necessarily to really speak to Robin Givens' character about it, but she spoke to Eddie's character, Marcus, about it on some like, oh, you and Jacqueline, like, what's up? Y'all cute. That's nice.
So she did it both. So yeah, she played it both ways because she.
She did say something.
She did, but she did it that same route. Like maybe you can like pull up off of him somewhat. Like, but she took it that same very passive.
Right, like on some friend vibe shit.
Yeah, like because they were at work and she was like, whatever it is you're doing to him. And then Jacqueline was like, whatever it is I'm doing to him.
Right, like watch yourself because I feel like you work for me, sis. And
yeah, so
if he can't control his emotions, that's on him.
So I feel like that whole situation there, because they really did portray Jacqueline and Angela as two very different types. So Angela's the artsy fartsy, creative, sweet, soft-spoken, sweet girl. And then they made Jacqueline the vicious, sexy bitch, like office bitch, right? Those are the two different roles. Right. But I felt like once Marcus and Angela hooked up, also Marcus knew
why'd you fuck with David Allen Greer? Like,
yeah, like you knew that was your friend's
bullshit. Like, because it's honestly like, because she's the type of woman that niggas would love to hate because David Allen Greer was basically dinner nigga.
Yeah.
Pay for dinner. He encourages you. He's sweet, whatever. And you know you ain't gotta fuck him if you don't want to.
And we're just friends. They kept saying it. We're just friends. Yeah.
Right. But and call it friends, knowing because she knew how he felt.
Yeah.
Very much like she told Jacqueline, you know how Marcus feels about you.
And then you turn around and fuck his friend and then get with his friend.
But don't even have a motherfucking conversation with the nigga. Neither one of them had a fucking, it was fucking like, surprise.
They waited till after they were like fucking. And David Allen Greer was like, you fucked her? Like,
right. Like, because I can tell, because I feel like the energy I'm getting is that y'all have fucked. And let me tell you something. for me and how it should be for people, you know, dick and pussy is just really not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you fuck with somebody, have a fucking conversation, because 9 times out of 10, they might not care.
Yeah, I think it's more so that you hit it and lied, not actually what
Yeah,
you did
like,
most of the time. So, or that they had
if y'all in love, I'm a root for it. But like,
yeah,
also
because
don't
like
play with me.
technically, like you're right, y'all did not have a relationship, but I do think you owed him the courtesy, you know, kind of like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
feeling her. Do you mind if I go there? Not, hey, I've been fucking her. Sorry.
And that's what's wrong with the world. That's what's wrong with the world. People like really try to, like, you know,
People avoid
skate off.
confrontation.
Yeah, and they
People,
would skate off technicalities. Like, yes, technically somebody should not feel away because of A, B, C, and D, but let's be realistic. We are human beings.
and I
If
think
I fuck somebody you like, I'm pretty sure you would want be like,
you're
she
gonna feel like whether
you
it's not that
talking?
you thought you were gonna get married to that person, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like, damn, bitch, like you, damn, like damn. That's the only way I can say, like, damn. But
Like, damn.
I think too for me, like what triggered me the most about Angela too was that she was putting herself in a position to be fucked up and fucked over a little bit. She knew who she was dealing with, a reformed air quote player, right? Who was still in love, lust, like whatever with someone else and hadn't dealt with those issues or whatever was there, right? And so he got Jacqueline threw the pussy at him one time
And he took it.
and he took it.
Couldn't wait.
He could. Then she throws it at him again, and now he gets a conscience, and he could not. Then he had. I'm in love with Angela. I gotta go. Right.
And guess what Angela did? She stayed.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, she kind of left. He had to go leave his job, go work with the kids, the art plays, and show up at her job, and she took him back. Right after they broke up.
Right.
So it's like that whole shit triggered me because it's like I felt a little bad for Angela in the sense that it's like I've been there before where you had someone who would have possibly treated you right, but for whatever reason, the chemistry, blah, 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 the fucking none of that was there. But you're so enticed with the flashy person over here that you go walk down this path and get your feelings hurt. And now you'd end up quitting your job, being a corporate bitch, stop fucking with the children that you like to volunteer with, because now you brokenhearted and shit over some shit that you probably could have avoided.
Exactly. And also because because that's where the story ends. And the idea is that they live happily ever after.
Because I always, when I watched it, I was like, shit, I feel like we could have got a Boomerang part 2.
Yeah, because the reality is that there's going to be another Jacqueline.
I felt like it because they just walked down the street.
Because you did not allow that nigga to deal with whatever, because it's not just like she has whatever shit that prompted her, that allowed her to take that course of action. He does too. And it seemed like neither one of them dealt with their shit to know why. Like, how did we do this? Because now we fucked over a really nice guy. Because I'm here for David Allen Greer. Like, I really felt like, because whole time what's going to happen is he will continue to be Marcus's friend. And now you got to be here with them.
While they all happy and shit.
Yeah, but then when
happy
Marcus...
air.
But you're going to also know when Marcus does his dirt. And then you're in this shit. Like, y'all just setting up people that have fucked up situations.
This shit is so... Look, when I say I started digging deep, I think another overlooked small portion of this that many women may not be ready to deal with, or men themselves, is that the dick issues, in the sense that Martin's character really added nothing to the movie besides laughter. But David Allen Greer was having some dick issues, and he was saying, if the doctor said if I wore looser clothing and it would drop the balls of the temperature, that it too triggered me, because I feel like, you know, I'm in, as we said earlier, our mid to late 30s, and I deal with older men. I have encountered a few men who've had dick issues who, for whatever reason, won't go to a urologist, a doctor to figure this shit out.
Bitch, I
and I felt bad because he told his boys this. And what did his boys do? They joked him. So, fellas, if your guy comes to you to talk about his dick issues, do not make fun of him. Encourage him to go to the doctor, okay? Because we need to get these balls checked. His dick needs to work so that he can please the woman in his life.
Right, because I felt like the way that his character was set up was like, because of these dick issues, I'm not having sex. The reality is that you niggas be trying to have sex with the dick issues and not having that conversation. Because I had to have a conversation. The last thing I had sex with, no, I haven't had sex in a very long time, but I was just like, and it was difficult.
It is very difficult to bring. I've had a conversation with a man too about
and I was compassionate.
Issues. I did too. I didn't go up to him.
It wasn't wild.
Okay, listen, Ratcheteer gang. No, for real. This is some real shit. When I ask these experts and sexologists on the show about how do you broach this, how do you do this, this is coming from real life because I had to figure this out. I've had these conversations with men. Like, sex is important to me when I'm with somebody, right? So this lets me believe that people are not having good sex because it's no way that some man should be going out here thinking this is acceptable, right? One, I feel like as a person, not a man, woman, whatever, if something that your body used to do does not do it anymore, and it was a very abrupt change, gradual change,
figure it out.
I know I would like to know why the fuck is my pussy dry now all of a sudden? I didn't have these problems before. Let me go to the gynecologist. We need to talk about some things. Right. Yeah. And so I wish that stigma was not around for men. Men get very sensitive about their penis. And so I had to have a very sensitive conversation to be like, I enjoy you and I want to enjoy you in all of the ways, not some of the ways. And in order for us to do this, we need to figure out this issue we're having here. Right?
I was very much like that. And
I want to.
The nigga gaslit me and told me, he was like, "Oh, I thought it was just like my stamina was low," and I was just like, "That's not."
It's like I don't.
No, that's not how that works. Like,
it's not.
And I'm not saying it because like I have a penis and I know everything. I'm saying because I've heard about these conversations. Like, let's not even pretend because while we want to be sensitive to men about it, I need everybody, especially men, to have a grip on reality. It's like, while it might not be favorable, please understand there's a whole fucking market dedicated to y'all and keeping y'all dicks hard.
Like, y'all are so lucky. Y'all can just get a plethora of pills and potions that you can go get prescribed from the doctor and covered by health insurance.
Look, you can get off-market things like because I hear people talk about like Blue Chew, which isn't necessary. Maybe you need a prescription with that. I don't know because I hear it on. It's all types of things.
It's all and it's such an easy fix. And most times it is an easy fix. Sometimes if it's not a physical problem, then it's a mental psychological thing. It's something else going on.
Or something going on,
or something triggered you, So it's just like that little small part that I never ever harped on before until I recently watched. Like,
they laughed at him.
They laughed at him.
Very sad, but it was very annoying too because I was annoyed with Martin. It's so funny because I was thinking about what we were possibly talk about this, and I was like, "What if she gave me like a fuck, marry, kill?" And I was like, "Would I kill Martin?" Because I felt like he talked a lot of shit.
Well, let's do it. Fuck, marry, kill.
He wasn't getting pussy.
Fuck, marry, kill. Marcus. I don't even know their other. What is Martin's name on the movie? I don't even know.
No, David. No, that's his real name. I'm like, David's name is David.
Yeah, I don't even know, bitch.
I think I would. Oh God, this is so trash because I talk all that shit about Eddie, but it's like, no, I'm lying. I'm way too. Eddie would get on my nerves with his bullshit, so I think I would fuck Eddie. I would kill Martin, surprisingly, and I think I would marry David because, like you said,
same exact fuck, marry, kill.
Listen, Cause we can get this figured out.
The
And he
same
probably
exact.
ain't had sex in
He
so
seemed
long.
like a
So me
sweetheart and he was
either.
corny and
Funny.
we could figure it out. We could figure it out. And
Yeah.
so I agree wholeheartedly with your fuck, marry, kill. I was not
Yeah.
going to give you that, but I'm glad
It's
you
so
mentioned
funny.
it.
I thought about it.
But I totally would. So yeah, that was this week's edition of movies that hit different. I might be doing this a little bit more
That would be
because
nice.
I really was just watching like, holy shit. This
And it's funny because I have been struggling. I still haven't finished Girlfriends, and I don't think I ever will because
Ooh, okay, before we wrap up,
it was
child,
just. I mean,
girlfriends.
everybody was insufferable.
Yeah, like I think I briefly mentioned it on here, or maybe it was on Instagram stories, but I feel like I never finished Girlfriends, the show, because it straddled college. So in college, I really wasn't sitting down watching TV. And
I
it was,
wasn't either, but there were Fridays. So I kind of watched it here and there, or I would catch marathons. It was something I like to take naps to,
yeah, like
actually.
I don't recall finishing it. So I didn't even know that Tony left.
I knew that, yes.
Like I knew because of news, but I didn't know how she left, the circumstances in which she left. So the last thing I truly remember was the wedding, Tony's wedding episode.
I might have stopped watching when she left.
And I think that's when I stopped watching regularly. And then I remember something toward when she came with that short haircut. I remember being like, "Oh, I don't like that." But beyond that, it was so much of that show that I finally finished. And then with the way it finished, I was like, what the fuck? So I had to Google why it finished that way. And it was pretty much a casualty of the writer's strike. The writer's strike happened and it was canceled.
I do remember that happening. And I've watched the interviews and stuff they've done, which I think is dope. But
all of the characters are insufferable. The only person I really liked was William.
I loved William. William was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at these women like, oh my God. Like, I get why the show was on. It was a really well done show for Black women.
But you know what's funny?
But I did not enjoy. I don't want to watch that again.
And you know what's funny is just I think about it, and we may not think it of ourselves, but it's like kind of how people say about teenagers. I'm like, we might have been slightly insufferable in our 20s. And maybe that's why.
Oh, I'm sure I was. I'm sure.
Yeah, and so I feel like that's how it.
Shut your ass up.
Right, like that's how it lasted so long, because at that time is relatable, but like at 35 plus, looking at it, I was just like, my God, Joan.
I mean, they were all terrible friends to each other. I feel like Joan got to be the best friend because financially she supported almost all of them at some point.
Everybody.
And then Joan was just insufferable because every man she met, she wanted to marry.
Which was very strange for me at that age. And I remember, like, I think when I watched it, when it was on in my 20s, I think I probably like Lynn and Maya the most. I think I liked Lynn the most because she just seemed the least dramatic of them all.
Yeah, I think watching it, I liked Maya the most because she was funny.
I did like Maya.
Ghetto. But like rewatching it, I was just like,
I didn't understand Joan's whole obsession with wanting, because I'm again thinking about myself at that age. I was just like, I remember distinctly after college, after I stayed in Philly for 2 years, coming home. It taking me a year to get a job. Was I still meeting guys and stuff like that? Absolutely. But I remember distinctly, I was just like, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship.
No,
I want to do me. It was very weird. And maybe because everything was already in place for her, that she felt like that's her missing piece.
It was all missing. Yeah, I feel like that was her thing.
But I feel like that now, and I don't gag.
Because at first I was like, shit. I was like, how did she get this house? And then they said she like inherited the house.
Right.
She had a bomb house. She had a bomb career where she was making a ton of money because she had a couple Birkin bags, to bring it back full circle.
To the Birkin.
But she just didn't have the man and children that she wanted. And so I think that's why she was so obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But it was just, I really didn't like it. Like when she got the restaurant, I just really did not enjoy that show in a rewatch.
Yeah, I'm somewhere. I might be in season 4 or something, but I haven't gone back. I didn't
Yeah,
went back to
everything
grade.
after season 6 was complete trash.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to finish it.
Four, I would say 5 and 6 was some mid, and 6, 7, and 8 were complete trash.
Yeah, because where I'm at is Todd and Tony they've had their engagement party and all that. So
oh yeah, you got a ways to go, girl. Keep watching.
And I'm probably not. It's
probably not.
Because I kind of remember what happened. I don't need to see it again.
Gotcha. That's how I feel. I never need to watch that again. And like I said on Instagram, and we're wrapping it up, y'all will never, ever put Girlfriends in the same sentence with Sex in the City ever fucking again. Okay.
When it comes on a weekend.
Yeah, Sex in the City is still my jam. I did do a rewatch of that at the beginning of quarantine and decided that that hit a little different too, because I was like, fuck. I watched from the very first episode through the end of season. Well, I did end up watching the second movie too, because I hadn't watched that in a long time. And it be on every
weekend. It's literally on like every other weekend.
So I watched that in a long time, and I was like, fuck, we're older than the girls on Sex and the City too.
Yeah.
And that one hit a little different too. Even though they were white women, it's like relationships are relationships. Yeah, relationships.
You know what you should watch, and then we can like really, really stop. But I thought about it because I have it on DVD, but I wonder because they did have I did watch the reboot, The L Word. The L Word was so fucking good. That is something I
never watched The L Word because I didn't have Showtime when that was on. So maybe I'll go
I was living in Philly and like when Dish Network first came out, the shit was like maybe $100 for a month, and you got every channel there was. So I was.
All right, I never watched The L Word, but I heard it was good.
Let's do it. Oh my god, it's top notch.
All right, then I'll turn into a lesbian.
Oh yeah, because Shane can always get it now and forever.
So, look, all right, Shika.
Bye.
All right, that is it for this week's episode. I want to thank the homie Shika for coming on, letting us do a really good girlfriend kiki. I don't know if you could tell. Shika was smoking, I was drinking, so we might have been a little inebriated while we were recording, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. And let us know if you want us to do kind of like more shit hit different when you older type shit. All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or any app that you listen to your favorites on. Don't forget to leave those reviews too. You might just hear your review in the next episode. Follow us on all social media. Share the episode with those you love, those you don't love, those you fucking hate. I don't make those pretty images for nothing. Okay. Have a dope ass week. Stay healthy, safe, and sane. Thank you for listening. And remember, the ratchet in me always honors the ratchet in you. Namaste. Until next time.